We're back. Hey, everybody. You've asked for him, and he agreed to do it. He's back. Here he is, Brian Holtzman.
I'm back, but I'm not sure where I came from or where I left from, but I'm happy to be back on Darren Carter, the party starter.
That's right, buddy. Pocket Party Podcast. It's my favorite podcast. Dude, virtual high five. Hey, I gotta say, you look different. Everything about you looks different. You got the new laptop. You got a new varsity jacket on. Someone's been going through storage.
How you been?
I'm good, man. I am good. Man, it's so good to see you. It's funny because, time, time does fly. It's like, I just happened to Google last night. Remember that song, I'm too sexy for my shirt. So sexy it hurts. I couldn't believe it. It's been 30 years that song has been around. 30 years.
Yeah, I'm having some trouble with my iPhone. Do you have an iPhone?
No, I have a Galaxy, an Android.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I'll help you. What's wrong with your iPhone? What do you need help with?
It says that my iPhone storage is full, but I've already deleted quite a bit of many pictures.
Maybe, you might have to either. I don't want to be the tech support guy, but maybe you could delete some text messages that have like big movie files in them and photos in them and stuff. So sometimes I heard that text messages might also eat up a lot of storage. And get rid of some of the apps you don't need and close out the apps.
You don't have any right to tell me what to do with my phone. This is my iPhone. You're not technically savvy with the iPhone. You said you had a different operating platform, operating platform, but you say you still want to text messages, take this and take that. It's very rude, Darren. It's very freaking rude.
Yeah. just send it to the cloud, man. Send it to the cloud. It'll be fine.
I got a cloud. I was paying 99 cents. I upped it to $2.99 or something a month. And I don't know, is the cloud full? Is that Oracle guy? Get that Oracle guy. What's his name? I always forget his name. He owns one of the islands in Hawaii.
Wow.
What's his
Jeff
name?
Bezos? I don't know. Jeff Bezos?
Ellison. Yeah, Ellison. So how you been? How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I saw you were on a road trip. Tell people what's going on. Where are you? What's happening?
I'm renting a room, as you can see, in a private residence in Oak Hill, I think it's called, Austin, Texas. I did kill Tony last night, Monday night, and then I've got a show on Tuesday, the Secret Show with Red Band's Secret Show, and so I'm checking out the comedy scene in Austin, Texas. I guess.
That's cool. What's so you rented a room? So you maybe plan on staying out there for a while?
I guess. I'm renting a room. I guess.
What's it? Well, let me ask you this. How long have you been in Texas?
Tomorrow will be 1 week, and I was in shock for the first 2 days. I had anxiety attacks. I know why animals perish at the zoo when they move them to a different zoo. I had my bowel movement was all, my psyche, my stomach. I had headaches. I couldn't see color. All I saw was black and white. I couldn't even see faces. I just saw shadows and figures for the first 48 hours. When I was driving, I was just hoping that was a car. It was just horrible anxiety attack. But it's past now. It's moved on.
Yeah. Were you driving around going, I'm Brian Holtzman, and I'm a Texan. I'm a real live Texan.
What I was saying is, what the hell was that woman referee in the Super Bowl? That's what I was saying. What is she doing? She's watching the Super Bowl of cats while she's supposed to be refereeing the
game. Yeah. That's awesome, man. So you're out there, you're in Texas. You know what? I kind of like, by the way, I'm going to Texas this week. I'm going to be the other part of Texas. So I'm going to be in El Paso. I'll be performing at the comic strip in El Paso. And you know what was weird is I did a show in Phoenix a couple of weeks ago, and Brian, I hadn't really been on stage in like 2.5, maybe 3 months, I think. It felt weird, man. I mean, and it felt good, but it was, how about you? Have you been getting up at all, or has it been a while?
That last performance, besides last night on Kill Tony, of course, on Kill Tony, I just did panel. I just, to my best of my ability, made fun of the applicants and said as many bad words as I could. But tomorrow night, Thursday, the 11th, at the Vulcan Gas Company, it'll be the first time I'll be on stage in front of a live audience since March 11th of last year.
Wow. Yeah, that's going to be different. It's different, you know. Some advice I'd give, if you want to hear it, is just, I mean, it depends on how long you got to do, but I found myself a little rusty, so it helps to like look at some video of yourself just to kind of put your mindset, because you know what, it's hard to like just talk out loud and rehearse your act, you know, if you haven't done it in 11 months.
I won't be looking at any video of any past performances. I will not be preparing. I will not be practicing. I will not be looking in a mirror and doing facial expressions. I will simply take the stage and talk about why that referee was on that field. Female referee. I couldn't believe it. But that game wasn't bad enough.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Did you like the halftime show or no? Are you a big fan of The Weeknd?
The halftime show was, they were appealing to a certain segment of the population. I am not among that segment of the population. No, that was a bunch of nonsense. That was did you see the commercials? I've never seen such lousy commercials in all my life. I don't know who they're catering to, but it's not me or per se. No, I don't know.
Yeah, me either. I wasn't into. Yeah, I watched a little bit of the pre-show. I watched a little bit of the halftime, and I watched a few plays, and I was like, You know, it was a beautiful day in California. I was like, I don't want to be inside for 3.5, 4 hours. I want to enjoy the sunshine and the air and get out there.
Well, right now it's 37 degrees in Austin right now.
Wow. Now oh my gosh, look at that, 37. Man, it's a cold night here in LA, but it's not 37. I'll tell you that much.
37 degrees. It's freezing out there.
See, look, here's what we got. Oh wait, let me do the updated. But see, it's a little bit cold here, but it's not that. Here it's 55.
Not bad. Not bad.
You could. I find that if it's around 57, you might need to put on a jacket. 57 and below, like 55. You could go outside for a couple. I could go outside for a while, but anything once it gets in the 40s, you definitely need to cover up.
How you getting to El Paso? Are you gonna fly?
I'll fly. Yeah, I'm gonna fly. I flew to Phoenix and I'll fly to El Paso.
How long will you be in El Paso? How many nights in the shows?
4 nights, Thursday through Sunday.
And they pick you up at the airport, do they?
Yep, they pick you up and they put you in a hotel, and you do your shows. And I mean, that was the last club I did in March. and it was really wild to be out there and seeing everything. Comedy Store shut down, Comedy Magic Club shut down, this club, that club, and I was like, what? And we just kept doing shows like there was nothing really happening. And then, of course, the domino effect, and so it'll be interesting to go back there like 11 months later and see how things are. But you know what, I'm just gonna wash my hands. If I give someone a fist bump or something, I'll just not touch my face.
Who are you working with?
I'm working with Brian Swinehart, aka Swine Time. I don't know if you know Brian, but yeah. Hey, listen, let me ask you: do you anything else you want to say? Do you have your items of interest? I love when you do items of interest.
Oh, you'd like to hear some items of interest?
Oh no, but before we get into that, how was your? I think you drove to Texas? Am I right? I saw some Instagram. Yeah. What was that like?
Oh, it's great. No, it was nice. It was nice. I slept in the back of my camper shell in my little pickup, and it was just wonderful. Yeah,
is that the same truck that I saw you have a few months back?
Oh yes.
It looked a lot bigger. It looks bigger on video. That's cool though, man. Yeah, there you go. You drove from
there it is.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, look at that. See, that looks like a whole camper thing.
Why is that picture not so bright? What is it? The light here? Jeez.
I don't know. That's So where did you start? You started out, I think you lived by the beach. So you started at the beach, and did you just go straight to Phoenix for the night, or where did you stop your first night?
The first night from Redondo Beach, I left on February 1st at around 2:40 in the afternoon, and I got as far as...
What's up, guys? How you like the show so far? Pretty good, right? Kind of weird that I'm out here in the country with the chair next to me, but anyways, if you like this show and you want to help out, go to Cameo. I do birthday shout-outs, anniversary shout-outs, or if you just want to do a donation, go to DarrenCarter.com, PayPal, or Venmo at Darren Carter Comic. Now let's get back to the show. Where did you stop your first night?
The first night from Redondo Beach, I left on February 1st at around 2:40 in the afternoon, and I got as far as the California-Arizona border, a place called McFly or something. And then the second night, I stayed in a place called Lordsburg, New Mexico. And then
did you plan on that, Lordsburg, or is it just happened to be the place you stopped?
Yeah, I don't like my act. I really don't like to plan anything.
Yeah, because I don't think I'd be stopped planning Lordsburg, New Mexico. That doesn't sound like unless you went deep into the internet and you're like, I got to go check out that haunted house or whatever. Yeah, I think I would have been like, stick with the major cities: Phoenix, Albuquerque, El Paso, Austin, or something like that. Like I went to McFly's and I hung out there with, yeah. What was the food like on the trip? Did you stop any like crazy mom and pop places?
I'm a big fan of Denny's. Big fan.
And were they open on the way out there?
Not the one in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Las Cruces, Las Cruces?
Yeah, Las Cruces, yeah.
I went there and I got off the freeway and made my way to the Denny's, and then I saw the little sign in the window. It said, "This unit not open."
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Dang. I remember I stopped in Las Cruces for something, and I just remember, I don't know if I just was unlucky, but wherever I stopped, I remember there being a lot of flies. There was just flies everywhere. I was like, I'm not into this exit, whatever exit I was at.
Somebody
shout out to Las Cruces, but yeah.
Somebody told me New Mexico is a flyby state or a drive-through state. I don't know if that's true. Are there any comedy clubs that you ever performed in New Mexico?
You know what? I did the Kiva Theater once with Gabriel Iglesias. Believe it or not, actually, it was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I was supposed to do it with, God rest his soul, Freddie Soto at the Kiva Auditorium. And Freddie passed away. And and Gabriel Iglesias filled in the date, and so I did it. I did do the Kiva Theater.
So you've been all over the place, man. You've got hundreds and hundreds of clubs and places that you've been, huh?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's been a while. I will say that it's been a while because now I'm starting to pick, have regular places that I go to. But in the history of my early days of stand-up till now, yes, I have been into a lot of, so I can't really recall every place, because sometimes it literally, you'll just know the airport and you'll know the hotel and that's about it. You're just like, oh, you're so, you're just tired. You land, they pick you up and you don't even know where you're at. You're just like, like where you're at. I would just say Austin. I wouldn't remember that I was in Oakwood or whatever you said earlier. I would just know.
What is, for example, this Phoenix gig you're going, El Paso gig you're going to, did you arrange that by yourself?
Yeah, that one was a club. Now, originally, I think an agent, set me up like 15 years ago, but whatever it's been. But then you start to get a relationship with these people, the bookers or the club owners, and you become friends, and then they'll just luckily, they might just reach out to you. They might be like, "Hey, Brian, it's been a while. You want to come?" And then like, yes, that's the dream. I mean, I don't have a lot of places like that, but that is the dream to where. That's how I got these last 2 gigs. Thank God,
If they do that to me, they're going to have to ask me nice.
Exactly. Ask me nice. Yeah. I know. I mean, I've heard of stories of like, someone said that Rob Schneider did a Zanies the other night, and because they have less capacity, they just kept adding shows. So the guy did like 14 shows or something like that.
You feel like a bear with a chain around its ankle, and they stick you and they get back up there.
Yeah. I know. It's like
that's too much. I don't. Wow. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm out here in Austin, and I'm going to just check out the scene. And
have you seen? Was it nice it must have been nice to see familiar faces after so long, right? Like to see some people that you knew, and that's pretty cool.
It was fun to see Kill Tony and Michael Lear and Brian Redband and tomorrow night Fahim Anwar is going to be on the show.
Oh, nice.
And
cool.
Dylan Sullivan is going to be on the show. And so it should be pretty fun. Yeah, I'm going to get out there, and then I'm just going to.
Yeah.
I'm going to have such built up herd immunity that I am going to explode on the stage.
Hey, let me ask you this: after being in California for so long, was it a totally different world when you left the state and you're like, wow, people can actually dine inside and that kind of thing? Was it interesting to see that?
Yes, the rules are not as strict in the rest of the country as they are, of course, in California. So it was nice to be able to eat inside the restaurant like I did tonight at a place called Jim's. And the woman was very nice. She even gave me my chocolate cake, and she said, "That's on me, and I hope to see you again."
Oh, that's so cool.
She asked me if I had any hobbies, and I said I do, but if I told you what they were, you'd probably think I was a dirty old man.
You'd probably want this chocolate cake back. That's funny. That's funny, man. Yeah, when I went to Phoenix, I'm telling you, excuse me. So I took an Uber to the Burbank airport, and the guy had made like his own plexiglass shield, that he kind of, bungee strapped to the back of the passenger headrest. It was a little ridiculous, but I was like, okay, whatever. I hadn't been in an Uber during this whole time. So his little plexiglass. Meanwhile, there's like air that can go under and under. I was like, whatever. he's all like hands on the wheel, like not looking back at me, just like, okay, sir, thank you. And then I land in Phoenix. The Uber driver pops out, has the trunk open, and he's like, hi, my name's James. And he starts grabbing my luggage and touching it and putting it in the thing. And I'm like, okay. And then he gets in the car and he goes, hey, it's about a 30-minute drive. Did you want to wear your mask the whole time? And I'm like, I go, not really. And he goes, great, I'll take mine off as well. And he just rips it off. just to show you the differences, right? And then when I get to Phoenix, it was great, man. I went to Cracker Barrel. I had the best pancakes 2 days in a row. So good. And I got to be honest, man, it felt good to see people's faces, to see them smile, to be up on stage, to hear the laughter, and like I said, it was a little different though. I mean, it was a little different, like to walk into a green room and see like 3 people in there, which isn't that many, but they're all like, how you doing? I'm the feature act. How are you? And you're just like, oh, okay, hi. And then I'm just like, just go wash my hands. Cause it's been like 11 months since I've been shaking people's hands.
Just bump them. That's all. Just bump them.
Yeah. I started bumping after the initial handshake. I'm just gonna start bumping, like people get it, but still they kind of didn't at first, And
I want to thank you for doing as many dead airs as you did. I think we had some fun doing that.
Those were great, man. Thank you. You know what? I drove by that place today and man, there's a big, the lease is, they're renting it out now. It's part of our history, man. That who knows what the future holds, but those were some fun days. And I appreciate you coming on here, man. It's so cool.
We go way back, and I'm in here, and I'm going to continue to do dead air with Red Band and see how long I'll do that, and maybe I'll get on Joe Rogan while I'm out here and make this trip worthwhile. But I'm prepared to stay at least 4 months.
That's cool. At least 4 months. And do you how often are you going to do dead air? Do you have any idea yet?
Once a week. Tomorrow's the first one.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. And then are there enough local people to have pop in out there? There probably are, I would imagine.
Yes, there's plenty of comics, I believe, and we're having a special gentleman. I think his first name is Terry, and he does barbecue. So not all guests will be comedians, actors, or actresses. Some of them will be just regular people that I'm interested in talking to. So we'll have a comic by the name of Dicey. Do you know Dicey?
I know that name. I know Dicey. I think I know Dicey.
And she's a little black girl.
Dicey. I think I know Dicey. Hi, Dicey, if you're watching.
And Dicey will be on the podcast tomorrow, and this gentleman, Terry, of course, Red Band, and myself, and items of interest.
Did you do any? Did you do any? Did you do any like Zoom items of interest, or only in the flesh?
No, I didn't do any Zoom. I like the live podcast. I feel more comfortable.
Yeah, it's it's interesting. Just some of the stuff that we've discovered. Like I started being on TikTok. I started TikTok last week, and I was resisting being on there. I was like, I don't want to do TikTok, and then I don't know. It's actually pretty fun. It's actually pretty fun. So I'm enjoying. I'm kind of learning. It's fun because you're learning. I'm learning like how do I do this? How do I do that with the TikTok? And how do I edit a video? And it's interesting because I just want to. As a comedian, I want to express myself in as many ways as possible, and that's another way. I mean, trust me, I resisted for the longest time. I was like, I don't want to learn that, and then I started doing it. I'm like, it's actually pretty fun. There's something about it. But anyways, I did that, and are you on? Yeah,
I was on TikTok, but I'm having storage problems with my phone, so I had to delete that app.
Yeah. Oh no. Well, you're still on there. It just isn't on your phone, right? Like you'll it's so frustrating. Yeah, I'm getting close to that storage problem. I just keep deleting videos, and I figure once the stuff is up on TikTok or Instagram, then I'm like, okay, let me just delete it off my phone. It's like,
Well, I've been doing that, and it's just I just wish if it's not the storage, then it's it needs to be backed up, and it's always something with these things.
Yeah. Do you have a MacBook? Because you could also maybe.
No, I have a Chrome. I have a Samsung Chrome.
Oh, see, that's funny. I have all Mac stuff except for the phone, and you have an Apple phone, but you have, Galaxy and Chrome and Android.
Right.
Well, my point was you could AirDrop some of that stuff off of your phone. You just click AirDrop and get all those files and back them up to like a little hard drive or something. But, ask Redban. I'm sure Redban he'll be like, yeah, just do this, this, and this. He'll probably. So you'll do Dead Air, hopefully Rogan. So Dead, I know. What do you think you'll do the other 6 days, or do you have plans, or you're just going to take it one day at a time?
Well, I'm going to try to find something inside this room that will support my weight, and then find a rope, strong rope.
Oh gosh, no. Yeah. I mean, do you ever just wake up and go, I'm in Texas. This is the weirdest but whatever though, at least it's kind of be amazing. I mean, compared to.
Well, I had to do it, Darren, so that I could have no regrets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I should have done this. I should have done that. It's all about getting out of your comfort zone. And you can call me a lot of bad things, and they're probably all true, but there's one thing you can't call me, and that's lazy. To get into a 30-year-old pickup and drive it all the way to Austin, Texas is not something a lazy person would do.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. None of this stuff is right. Like a lazy person, even at the Comedy Store, they're not going to be like, yeah, you're going to be closing at the Comedy Store. They're like, why? I could be asleep. No, not Brian Holtzman. He's like, all right, I'll do it. Yeah.
I used to complain about driving from the South Bay up that La Cienega to the Comedy Store all the time, and then here I am driving all the way to Texas. Doesn't make any sense. Just doesn't make
Oh my gosh. You know what? I love my son's name is Austin, so I have a special love for Austin. And I think that it's going to be a good hub. I've heard some, I think Joe Rogan, I think they were talking about, it sounds like a comedy club could open there. I read today another one called the Creek Cave or something.
Yeah, I never heard of the Creek Cave. This comedy club called what a name for a comedy club. The Creek Cave. I think it was in New York someplace. Never heard of it. They're moving to Austin. What kind of name is Creek Cave for a comedy club?
I know. I don't know. So you're kind of, hey, listen, you're having an adventure, and there's some other cities that aren't too far, right? Like you could go down to Dallas or up to Dallas, and you got to check out Fort Worth, Texas. That's an experience. That is like, they do the whole cattle, for the, like in the downtown Fort Worth, Texas, with like the longhorn cattle that go through the town. And that's pretty interesting. And you can see this is kind of sad, not sad, but it's, I stay at the hotel because the comedy club puts me there, but you stay at the hotel that JFK stayed at the last night that he lived, It's in downtown Fort Worth. Yeah, it's interesting. All this JFK memorabilia and where he spoke is right there. It's pretty interesting. That's
how often did they run the cattle through the streets there?
I think they do it for I had a guest on recently. Shout out to Cowboy Bill, William Lee Martin. And he's from Fort Worth, and he's like, yeah, that's for the tourists. They do it about an hour every day. But I'm like, dude, I'm a tourist. I love it. I thought it was great, It's great, it's I think you're there with the it's a little bit cool, but at least you're not having to go to like Buffalo, New York or something. Austin, Texas is still, the weather's still pretty cool. Yeah. What else? Do you want to do a couple items of interest?
Oh, sure. Why not?
People love those items of interest. We'll do a couple, and then I'll ask you a couple questions, and then we'll wrap it up, man. I was really just interested in that was really cool. I knew you'd have some a good take on driving. Now, how long? That's a crazy drive, right? Across Texas, it's so long. When you left Las Cruces and you drove across the state of Texas,
Right. It just keeps going and going and going.
I know. Now, did you listen to the FM radio? Because I think you lose signal, right?
No, I kind of just wanted to listen to the whine of the engine and just kind of think about how I was going to end it all.
You're like,
here's an item of interest. A Quebec woman was fined for trying to evade a pandemic curfew by putting a dog collar on her human partner's neck and taking him for a walk. Police say the unidentified 24-year-old was obviously making a mockery of the exception to the law, the 8 p.m. curfew that had been given to dog owners. The woman and her partner were each fined $1,500 for breaking curfew and hit with some harsh words from police about people making light of the situation as COVID cases soared. A New Jersey State Supreme Court has thrown out a convicted bank robber's 14-year sentence after ruling that a prosecutor biased a jury by comparing defendant Damon Williams to Jack Nicholson's character in The Shining. Prosecutors showed jurors a photo of Nicholson's face as his axe-wielding character Jack Torrance breaks into a bathroom occupied by his wife and son, yelling, "Here's Johnny!"
oh, wow.
Prosecutors, the court ruled, must walk a fine line when showing photos of an individual whom the jury associates with violence or guilt. Ain't that something, huh?
Yeah. And wow.
It's a wonder. It's a wonder there's anybody in jail.
Yeah.
And the last item of interest: a French woman has been fighting for 3 years to prove she is alive after being mistakenly declared dead by a judge. Marianne Donnelly, 58, can't drive, work, use a bank, or get insurance because she was declared dead in 2017. Court case. She hasn't been able to reverse that ruling despite appearing before numerous judges with a certificate from her doctor stating that she is, in fact, alive. I no longer exist, Donnelly says. I don't do anything. Her lawyer is still fighting to get the court to reverse the original ruling, but says when an error is so terrible, it's hard to admit.
Wow. Items of interest, Brian Holtzman. I like that, man. Those are very comforting to hear. Those hearing you, I could hear this all day. Yeah. Hey, let me ask you a couple of things before we wrap up. I have a list of questions that bring happiness. What is the last thing, and it could be any cost, what is the last thing that you bought that made you happy?
It was my dinner tonight at Jim's. I had a bacon cheeseburger deluxe, French fries, and a cold iced tea. And then for dessert, I had a chocolate cake that turned out to be on the house. So food has a way of just making you happy. It really does. It just makes you happy.
I know. I need a good cheeseburger. I haven't had a cheeseburger in a long time. And there's something about oh, no, you know what? The last time I had a good cheeseburger was 2 weeks ago in Phoenix. But before that, it had been a long time. So I'm like, there's something about, You know what I mean? If it's been a while, you're like, dang, this is so good. It just feels like, yeah, like a good cheeseburger, man.
How many shows did you do in Phoenix?
1 show on Friday, 2 on Saturday. And it was the perfect amount, you know? The Friday, I felt a little rusty, but that was good because all day Saturday, I was like, I want to feel sharp. So I looked at a couple of videos. I was like, oh yeah, that's how that thing goes. And then, so by the time I hit the stage Saturday, it was perfect. And the audience didn't know that I was rusty on Friday, but I knew because there was a couple bits that I'm like, I could only remember certain parts of them, like the funny parts. I couldn't remember other little funny parts. But yeah, it was great. 3 shows and just to hear like the laughter again. And it was and the connection with people. Honestly, the connection is what I've been missing. I remember talking to there was the waiter and the waitress at the restaurant. And I was like, we were talking and at the Cracker Barrel. And I said, this is probably the long, I go like this, Brian. I go, this is probably the longest conversation I've had in a really long time with people outside of my family. And they were just like, really? I'm like, yeah, really. I mean, most people, my interactions are like people have a mask on, they do the pleasantries, but that's about it, So it was really interesting to talk to people,
Right.
Or, I mean, through the computer, that's one thing. But I mean, like when you said Jim's restaurant. I mean, you know what I mean? When it's like, wow, I'm seeing people. This is like, it felt good, I bet.
It was nice.
Yeah. You know what? This has been such a great episode. I just want to end it now and let's catch up. Well, maybe I'll if you're around and available, would like to. There he is. Check him out, Holtzman. Oh, is that your people go to holtzman.com/store?
Holtzman.store.
Holtzman.store. Awesome. Well, Brian, it was great having you, and I'd love to have you back soon. And you guys check that out. Dead Air. Look at that. Look at that. That's amazing.
You get some nice T-shirts and some keychains.
That's cool. I like it. See, I've got like the flashlights and the T-shirts too. That's cool. I heard Holtzman. That's great. I heard Holtzman.
And you can get some buttons. And
cool.
I'll have photographs of my suicide on there.
No. Stop with that. That's not, dude. That's not funny, man. Like that's not funny. That stuff. Those jokes used to be funny, but now they're not. I'm like, no.
I'm only kidding, folks. I prefer pills.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Dude, let me see that. Let me see the keychain thing again. I really like the keychain. Hold that up. That's so cool. It looks like a microphone. Wow. I heard Holtzman. That's great. That's awesome. Hey, why does it look like that? That's disgusting. No. Oh man. This is wow. All my comedian friends that are like depressed. They're like, let's hang out and do a podcast. Like oh geez. No. Yeah. Anyways, I love seeing you again. I love seeing you happy. And let's talk again soon. Let's have you back. And Brian, thank you so much, man. And you're the best.
Thank you, Darren. You're great too. And I miss you, buddy. And maybe hopefully we'll work together in the future.
Absolutely. Hey, good luck, man. I hope you get on Rogan. That'd be great. That'd be great, man. That'd be great, dude. That'll be like please. No, that's awesome. All right, man. I'll see you.
We're done with this interview.
Pocket Party Podcast. It's my favorite podcast.